What's going on, YouTube? Diggy546. The Giants have just won their first playoff game since some of your favorite YouTubers were 5 years old. Just think about that. Some of your favorite YouTubers are probably 5 years old right now. Some of your favorite streamers. Who are some of the top streamers? What? Speed? Whatever. Let me not get off track. But the Giants have won their first playoff game since 2011. And I've just been seeing a lot of people talking about low ceiling this, quarterback this, blah, blah, blah this. I just watched my quarterback show up in a playoff game, on a road playoff game, with no issues, no problems, no problems at all. And no problems. He did whatever he wanted. I'm on stream and I've just talked through this on my stream just right now. But let's look at this drive summary for the Giants. A touchdown, a field goal, and a drop touchdown at that. My quarterback had a drop touchdown by the tight end. Should have been a caught touchdown, but he dropped it. And then the next play, the next time we get the ball, we run the clock out at our own 9-yard line. Get the ball back out of the half. Guess what? A touchdown. First punt with 3 minutes left in the third quarter. Then we get the ball back. A touchdown. I don't want to hear anything about Daniel Jones having a low ceiling. I don't want to hear anything about him holding this offense back, because how many people knew who Isaiah Hodgins, unless you study the draft and unless you're a Bills fan, did y'all know who Isaiah Hodgins was in the month of October? Did you know that he existed? Because I bet a bunch of football fans didn't even know who he. I can go ask 10 people on the streets of New York. I guarantee I could ask 10 people on the streets of New York right now who Isaiah Hodgins is, and probably 8 of them will say they don't know who the guy is. 8 catches, 105 yards for a touchdown on 9 targets. How do you like those apples? Do you like them? I said it earlier. Do you like them green? Do you like red apples? Do you want Granny Smith apples? Do you want caramel apples? Are you looking for Johnny Appleseed? Because to me, that seems like this quarterback is working with Isaiah Hodgins, a guy that was on somebody else's practice squad, and the guy has over 105 yards in a playoff game. He's got 105 yards in a playoff game. Darius Slayton dropped the game. He would have had over 100 yards today if he didn't drop this slant, which would have won us the game. We ended up winning it, but it could have sealed the game a lot earlier. He drops a drag wide open. So I don't want to hear anything about my quarterback. And I really remember in 4K watching a guy named Colin Cowherd, and the guy's show is entertaining. It's entertaining. It's hilarious. He compares all types of stuff to everything. He's talking about football, and he's talking about Silicon Valley. Then he's talking about this, and he's talking about that. But all I know is he had no idea what he's talking about. He said, I have 2 guys right here. I have 2 guys. One is Sam Darnold. He's on the Jets. The other is Daniel Jones. He took a long pause. He said, I'd move off Daniel Jones. He said that about Daniel. I said, whoa, he said that about Daniel Jones? Against Sam Darnold? He said he'd move off Daniel Jones. I watched, and listen, I'm calling everybody out. This is not personal. This is just my response to people who want to talk about Daniel Jones. I watched Strong Opinion Sports, another person, a guy who I respect. I respect his opinion. But this guy talked all this mess about Daniel Jones, and as soon as Daniel Jones goes on this stretch of playing great football, Strong Opinion Sports has no opinion on Daniel Jones. There's no opinion on Daniel Jones anymore. He doesn't even cover the Giants. The Giants clinch a playoff berth, and he's not covering the Giants. He's not talking about Daniel Jones. He had a lot to say about Daniel Jones when people were saying that he was playing bad. You know, you look at those two. You look at Stephen A. Smith on ESPN. He's talking about, I trust the Giants. I trust Brian Dable. Don't get me wrong. Brian Dable can coach. Blah, 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 blah. This and that. Noise. My hairline is back here. But they have Daniel Jones. This is the same guy that said, first of all, the name is corny. So I just don't want to hear anything about Daniel Jones, because I watched Justin Herbert just go out there and just get mollywopped, just blow a huge lead. And this isn't me saying Daniel Jones is a better quarterback than him. I'm not saying that. But I just watched a lot of you guys' favorite quarterbacks go out there and blow huge leads. I watched that in the playoffs. I watched some guys go into the playoffs and freeze up like a cheap lawn chair, fold up like a cheap lawn chair in the playoffs. My quarterback showed up. My quarterback showed up. He showed up. He showed up. I mean, did Daniel Jones at any point in this game did he look jittery? Did he look like he was shaking? Did he look like he couldn't go through his progression because he was scared? No, he didn't. He showed up. So I just don't want to hear. I just don't want to hear about it. So now I got my Daniel Jones stuff off. Let's talk about the game for a little while. One thing that I did want to see more of, and I'll get into the positives, of course. One thing I did want to see more of is Saquon touching the football. I thought we could have probably controlled the clock a little bit more, but other than that, we scored almost every drive. So who cares who touched the ball? Other than that, let's go through some of these stats. Let's go through some of these team stats. As a team, we ran the ball for 142 yards. Gotta love that. Average 6 yards a play. Obviously 31-24. We got sacked 3 times, but again, the offense was humming. The offense was humming. We won time possession by 6 minutes. We had 5 penalties. A couple of those penalties were very questionable. Also, we were sitting here getting held on pretty much every time we rushed the passer. Our defensive line was getting held all day, every day. It was a mess. It was literally a mess. So we could not get any holding calls. Dexter Lawrence is getting held. Thibodeau is getting held. He got tackled to the ground. No call. So it's just more of the same. It seems like the Giants just aren't going to get holding calls, especially Thibodeau. For some reason, he doesn't get any calls. Um, but other than that, I mean, we outplayed the Vikings for the second straight time. We outplayed the Vikings for the second straight time. The defense today, they were atrocious, except when they needed to not be atrocious. And that's why I'm not gonna harp on it, because we should have won this game pretty handily. But the defense, they had missed assignments. They had a ton of issues in coverage. There was a time where Gerard Davis, the linebacker who's been on our team for literally 2 weeks or a week and a half, he was lined up one-on-one man coverage with Adam Thielen. Is it really a surprise? Is it really a surprise when Adam Thielen runs right by him? He's a linebacker who's not even a coverage linebacker, who hasn't been on the team for 2 weeks. So there's a lot of things we need to clean up on defense. And we really went to McKinney on Hawkinson, which I expected we should have done from the beginning of the game. But the last drive, we went McKinney on Hawkinson, and guess what? Hawkinson did nothing. He did nothing. Literally nothing. So hopefully the defense can learn from this week, and next week we come into Philly with a better game plan. But it's just like we could have done a lot better on defense. But what can I say about the offense? I already talked about how well Daniel Jones played. Saquon, when he touched the ball, he was explosive. When he touched the ball, he was decisive. No dancing around here for Saquon. Saquon was amazing when he touched the ball. Again, like I said, Bellinger had that mistake early on where he motioned a little bit too early, cost us 5 yards. But other than that, Bellinger did his job. He blocked. He got that touchdown. Nice touchdown by him. Hodgins. Shout out to Hodgins for being a guy who was on the outside looking in, and now he's Daniel Jones' number one target. It's not debatable. The guy had 8 catches on 9 targets. Shout out to Hodgins. Who else am I missing? Slayton had that horrible drop, but other than that, he was good. Slayton had no elusivity on one of the plays he caught the ball. Same thing with Hodgins. Hodgins should have scored on one of those plays, but he was too slow. What else am I missing? What am I missing? Shout out to the offensive line. Besides those sacks, I mean, for the most part, they kept Daniel Jones clean. They blocked for the run. They did the thing. They did their thing. And then I'll jump back. I see some people on my stream commenting about it. That roughing the passer call, I call things. Listen, I'm not going to just jump on the bandwagon and just saying like, this was a horrible call. This was this and this was that. Listen, the roughing the passer call was 100% the right call. And it was the right call because Dexter Lawrence, he shedded the block. And when he went to go wrap up Kirk Cousins, his arm did hit him on the helmet. So it was the right call, yes. But it also was a ticky-tack call. And they could have swallowed their whistle right there, just like they decided to swallow their whistle when Thibodeau was getting tackled to the ground. So it was a ticky tack call, but it also was the correct call. So I'm not going to complain about something that was the correct call. And then I see some more people talking. The secondary locking down Thielen and Justin Jefferson. They did. I got to go look back at the tape, but Justin Jefferson kind of did whatever he wanted at the beginning of the game. But if I pull up Jefferson's stats, I mean, what did he have? 7 catches for 47 yards. I will 100% take that. 7 catches for 47 yards for Justin Jefferson. And I think he probably had maybe 1 catch or 2 catches in the second half. So shout out to Adoree Jackson. Shout out to Adoree Jackson. Because, I mean, of course we had multiple people out there. But shout out to the secondary for holding him to 47 yards on 7 catches and 9 targets. KJ Osborne had that busted coverage for a touchdown right in the middle of the field. But other than that, again, we held Justin Jefferson in check. It was just us leaving Hawkinson wide open. He went off for 10 catches for 129 yards. I'm so glad we don't have to see Hawkinson again this season. But hopefully next time we see Hawkinson, or next time we see a tight end that's dominant, which is next week, we keep McKinney on that tight end. We have to. We just have to. So that's my take on the game. I'm at 11 minutes. I'm going to jump back in my stream. But appreciate y'all for watching the video, you guys. Enjoy the rest of the playoffs. The Giants are going to the second round of the playoffs for the first time since 2011. Keep enjoying this moment. Enjoy every second of every day of being a team in the playoffs that have won a playoff game. And I'm going to go ahead and sign off.